All right, we're getting now ready to start the next block. We're on page 30. All right, we're getting ready to do the pie block. All right, so the pie block, we need the background fabric, and the background fabric was 8.5 by 6.5, and we cut that earlier when we cut the cake background. So it's the same as the cake background, and we had cut it previously. All right, it's the white with like the yellow or gold words on it. We also need silver embroidery leather for the pie tin. And remember, we did not cut I did not cut my leather into pieces. If you cut yours in pieces, you'll have like 1.5 inches by like 5-inch piece of leather. So I still have mine together because mine was a 1 full piece. You're going to need some navy leather. Again, I didn't cut that into the squares. These are going to be for the little blueberry, pie filling that's showing in the pie. So we need that. And the last thing that you're going to need is you're going to need the felt for the crust of the pie. And this is the same felt we used for the plant for our pot. So at least that'll kind of blend in with everything. So that's kind of what we're looking at. It looks like we need some blue thread. So we're going to match that navy again. And we're going to need some red and white thread because it's going to do a little flag coming off of the pie. You're going to need some charcoal or gray for the steam of the pie. And you're going to need the brown to actually match the crust of the pie. So that's the colors we're going to need. So I will meet you over at the machine next. Again, we're still using the light mesh cutaway. And I will load up our quilting pattern. We'll look at what size we need. And again, I'm using the one from the clear blue tiles, the scrolls. Okay, so here's again where I find the quilting design that I need. If you want to follow per Kimberbell, we're doing block number 6 here, which is the pie, and 6 down here says it was the wave, and it's a 4x6 horizontal wave is what they use. So what I'm going to go find is the 4x6 scroll design in the clear blue tiles. All right, and that's what I'm going to load up first. Then I'm going to load up our embroidery design, which is a 5x7 design with the pie. All right, on top of that. And then we're going to start doing the quilting first. Right, lay down our batting and trim it, and then lay down our background fabric and trim it before we start the actual embroidery of the pie. All right, so I'm going to go find my 4x6 of the scroll clear blue tiles. I'm doing the block by block quilting. And I want to do block by block because I'm doing it as a block. And that's going to actually allow me not to have any batting in my seams. All right, so I have my pie. I have my 4x6 quilting design, and I turned them horizontally, and I have my pie. And I'm going to be making these in the bottom half of my hoop. All right, so I'm going to hit start, and it is going to first show me where we're going to place our batting. And I see my thread is not in my needle. Stop for just a second. Definitely want to have my needle threaded. There we go. Just want to make sure, and it's not. That's what happened. I came out of my take up lever. All right. Gonna hit start now. I think I have it fully threaded like it should be. So this is going to show us where to put our batting. So I'm going to get my batting now ready. Okay, I'm actually going to pull this out towards me just a little bit here. I know you can't quite see it because I did stitch it in white. Almost looks like a little postcard laying there. So I want to find, let me see if I have like smaller pieces of batting. No reason to use a bigger piece if I have some smaller ones that are going to fit over that square nicely. Because just makes sense to do that. So let's see here. This is a little bit better. Alright, so I'm going to lay my batting up there. Okay, I'm going to hit start. My hoop's going to move back to the normal position. Then I'll hit start again, and it's going to start tacking down my batting. It's going to go around twice, okay? And when it's done with that, we are going to trim the batting, and we're going to stitch where to place our fabric. All right, so I have trimmed my batting, and now I'm going to actually stitch out the placement of my fabric. And again, this is your background fabric. All right, so our background fabric is this white fabric with like the yellow or gold words. And again, okay, you can turn it around whichever way. I mean, you see different words faced, right side up, depending on, what you might want to see. So it's up to you which way you want to put it. All right. All right, so now I just want to center it. So the first thing I'm going to do is side to side and have the same amount of fabric on each side. Then I'm going to pull it down so that I have the same amount of fabric top and bottom. All right, now that I have it placed, I'm going to hit start, and it's going to tack down my fabric. Now, I didn't trim the extra edge off the fabric. Remember, I just cut it. So it is bigger than the size that it said 8.5. Mine is like 9. All right, so that's why it looks so much bigger. All right, the next thing to do is to actually stitch the quilting. And again, I'm doing the scroll, and I'm doing it in white, just like all the other blocks. I'm going to hit start, and we're going to do the quilting, and then we will return when that is complete. Alright, so now we're going to start the actual quilting design. So the first thing in the quilting design is step 1, and we're going to stitch the pie tin. Alright, so I did put a silver color in, so I changed my color to silver. I'm going to hit start, and this is going to show me where they want me to place our silver leather. So I'm going to get that ready, have it out here on the side. And again, it's just that, little like 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch pie tin laying there that you want to cover up with the leather. All right. And it does fit. But I won't catch it because of that piece right there, so I'm gonna definitely do it this way, make sure I catch it all. All right, just gonna slide it down so the bottom's kind of on the straight edge. Hit start, and now it's going to tack down my leather, and you can tape it if you choose to. You can see it's doing that little double stitch to hold it in place. The next step now is to trim around our silver leather. All right, now I have my leather trimmed. The next step is to put in some blue thread, and we're on step 4, and it's stitch the filling placement line. So we need to know where to put the filling, okay? And the filling is going to be our blue leather for our blueberry pie. So it's going to do our little ovals here. Alright, so there is our 3 little ovals, and I see I have some jump stitches to remove. So I want to kind of grab them real quick here. Alright, the next thing is to put our blue leather down, covering up those stitches. And as as I said before, I didn't trim it. I want to see, can I get those 3 out of this little section here? And I think I can, instead of using this whole big section. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit start, and we are going to stitch down, right, our little pie openings with our blue leather. Okay, so you can see we have our little pie openings with our little blue leather for our blueberry pie. The next thing it tells us to do, we're going to flip the page. Instruction wise, we're on page 31 at the top. Excuse my hand and my arm. Wanted to lock my hoop back in place because I slid it out to cut that. Alright, so the next thing is we're going to start doing the stripes of the flag. So we're going to load in white thread and do the white stripes. It's going to do 2 of them. Then we're going to load in the red. It's going to do 3 stripes, and then the blue. Alright, so we're going to load in our white thread. Alright, I just got my white loaded. I'm going to hit start so we can do the white stripes of the flag. It's doing a lot of underlayment under there. It's doing the satin stitch now, so we'll return with the red stripes. Alright, I have my red loaded. Now I'm getting ready to do the red stripes. It's really hard to see the white stripes, on the fabric that we have. But once this red gets filled in here, then you'll be able to see the white stripes. So we'll let this all stitch out, and we'll be back for the blue. Alright, so we're back. We see our red and white stripes. We're getting ready to do that the blue-black background, of the flag. And then I believe this, once it's done this blue, we're on step 7 of the embroidery file. Once it's done the blue, we're going to put white back in. It's going to do some white star detail of the flag. So you can see it filling in the little blue section, the top corner of the flag for us. I do have a little blue, my starting of my thread there that I'm going to trim away. Alright. Didn't take that one too long. So now I'm going to pull the blue out. I'm going to reload my white back in and do some star details. Again, sorry for my arm and the camera. I'm just trying to thread my machine up. So here we go with the white. Gonna hit start. This is number 8 of the embroidery file. And it's stitching some of the star details. And it looks like I'm going to have some jump stitches in here to clean up later as well. All right. Okay, now that that's done, the next thing to put in is some dark gray. And that's going to do the pole. So our flagpole. All right. So along with that flagpole, the next thing that does come up is the steam. And I'm probably going to use that same color for the steam, but it does give a break or a stop in the embroidery file so that you could make it a different color if you choose to. All right. So that would be up to you. But this first thing here that I'm doing is I'm loading in like a dark gray to represent the flagpole. And this will be number 9 of the embroidery file that it is going to stitch out. So I'm going to hit start and do number 9. So we're doing the flagpole. Alright. I am going to leave the same color in, and I'm going to do number 10, which is going to be the steam coming out of the top of our pie. And again, I'm doing my pie vertically. The pictures and the directions are doing it horizontally. I mean, way opposite. I'm doing mine horizontally and the pictures and the instructions are vertical. Because I flipped mine 45 degrees to fit it in the bottom of this hoop. Alright, because I want to save the stabilizer. So that's the reason I did that. So let me scoot this out. And you can take a look at possibly what this looks like right now. You can see it a little bit here. I am going to change my thread out. So the next thing that we are going to work on is going to be the actual pie crust. All right. So I'm going to get a color close to the gingerbread felt, and that's what I'm going to load in the machine. You can see I do have quite a few little jump stitches to take care of here. I'm trying to get my brown loaded in. Okay. All right. See if I can take care of a few of these jump stitches. I don't want some of these longer ones getting stuck underneath the felt when I go to put the pie crust down. So that looks like the steam, and then here on the flag I have quite a few of the little white jump stitches to take care of. As it went like from star to star. You know, and here you just want to be careful because you just want to like get that piece of white thread up so you can clip it, because you don't really want to clip any of the blue, you know, satin that, you know, is part of your background of the flag. I'm getting there. I got a few more here to trim up. Just starting at one end and working my way over as I go. too bad. Cleaned up pretty good. All right. So the next step we are on step number 16. We're going to stitch the crust placement line. So I put my brown in. I need to know where to place my crust, right? So I'm going to hit start. It's just going to move my hoop back into place. And now hit start again, and now it's going to show me where to place our crust. And don't forget, our crust is our felt. All right. Okay, so there's basically where we place our crust. And when it stitches right back over the openings again, the little pie crust openings for where the blueberry comes out. So first I'm gonna like trim this little starting stitch I had here, and then there are a couple jump stitches under here. So before I lay my felt down, I want to trim them because I won't be able to get to them once I lay the felt down and it tacks it down. So the next part is to actually lay our felt down, and that's not wide enough, so I am going to use the bigger part of the felt. Make sure I cover up the stitching lines. Alright, and I'm going to hit start, and that moved my hoop, and I'm going to hit start again, and I'm going to do number 12 of the embroidery file. I'm going to tack down this brown felt. Now when it's done tacking down the brown felt, this is number 12 of the embroidery file. Alright, we are done with this item. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to trim the felt up, and then we got to trim the felt out of the little eyelets to have that blueberry underneath kind of show through. So I would say just be careful trying to get to those because you don't want to damage the leather underneath. So we'll see how we get there. I see it stitching like a nice little double stitch going around. And that, not quite it. It's going to do the little eyelets again. It's going to say here you want to cut these out in the center of this. And then it looks like I might have jump stitches to trim again. Alright. So I am probably going to pop my hoop off so I can turn it around as I cut this felt, and we will see what it looks like. Alright, I will say trying to trim out these little eyelets here in a sense for the leather is not something easy to do. And what I keep doing is I just dig down just a little bit and cut the felt, you know, and I just keep taking like little layers off. I don't know if you can kind of see what I'm doing. You know, and then I get to the blue underneath. And then once I get to the blue underneath, then I can start spinning this hoop around and start taking the felt away from it all the way around. Okay, so again, I'm just, you know, taking a bite out of here where it's bigger. But I'm not going all the way down. I'm trying to like remove like the top layer of felt off of there. Just in the center part till I get down to where I need to be. Because I'm trying not to damage the leather underneath. Right? because I don't really want to put a hole in that leather. I don't want to scratch it with my scissors and things like that. And then once I get down far enough and I get my start seeing my leather really good, that leaves me an opening now that I can come back and go all the way around this by turning my hoop all the way around. All right, so that's how I'm doing it. Just giving you an idea there. So I'm going to clean that up some more. But that is the end of that block. And we are going to move on to the next block.